Hey y'all, I just wanted to come on here this morning. It's a new day, it's a great day, and I wanted to play with these little pockets. I saw Edith from Scrapbooking with Me making these pockets, and she said she saw them on Roxy Creations, Rachel's channel. And I think it was part of Rachel's challenge that she's doing right now. And so I just wanted to show these to you real quick, and I have been playing with them, and these are all 4 different variations of it. And when we get into it, you'll be able to see that you can configure these pockets any way you want to, really. You can glue the paper around and glue them to a page, glue them to your journal page, and you can just have a tuck. You would glue it just across the bottom here and just across the bottom here, and then you would have a tuck here and a tuck here on your journal page. The next one I did is I just put it on as kind of an add-on, or you could put it on the top corner, because what I did was, instead of gluing this down to the actual bottom of the pocket, I pulled it around and glued it to the back side, so that now we have a closed tuck, but that bottom part's closed. You can just go right down in there and put some glue. Maybe you could even just tack some glue back here and just attach it, just slide it on the page, and then you'll have that closed pocket, but it's got the added benefit of that bit of gusset. It won't fit as tightly as this one will. Then I decided to get all inventive, and I'm sure somebody's done all of these before, but yeah, I'm not saying any of this is original to me. Somebody else has for sure done it, and Rachel might have even done it, because like I said, I have not even seen her video yet. Sorry, Rachel. But anyway, what you can do is glue one side of the bottom tab up and leave the other side not glued. And this is actually a mixture of the ways. You could leave them both down, which is what I did on the last one. And if you put your glue here, and then you wrap it around your page, and put your glue here, and if you want that extra gusset space, just put your glue here and press it down on that page. Then you will have the gusset on this side and no gusset on this side. So what I did on the last one I finally settled on is I covered my envelope to pretty up my pocket, but I only glued down the top portions of what I was gluing, so that it does add the strength to that top portion where you're tucking things in. And you'll see I did use window envelopes, but I'm not taking advantage of that window. I'm gluing this down over top, folding it over and gluing it down to give extra strength on that pocket opening. And the other thing that I did was I left all of these unglued. So now, if I choose to put this on as a full pocket, I can put my glue here and here, and then I have a pocket with an entire gusseted side and the gusseted bottom. And on the other side, I would do the same thing. Fold my tabs in, put glue on the outsides, glue that part to the paper, and then have gussets here and here. Now, if I just wanted it to be a tuck instead of a pocket, I would just go ahead and glue this side down, have that glued down, then come in and put glue on my tab on the outside and glue that tab to my page. And that way it'd have a tuck, but it'd have that benefit of that gusset at the bottom. So let's do one of these. I really like this little, this little pocket, and it is a very, very good way to use up some envelopes. Because if y'all are anything like me, you have got some envelopes going on. A day without junk mail is a very, very seldom occurrence. Okay, now what I'm going to do is first I'm going to go ahead and close my envelope. And I want to be sure and just follow the outside and not get glue down here, because I don't want to glue that portion right there. So here we go. And I've been holding my dog, so would you look at that dog hair? I'm going to get it off of here. There we go. That'll be better. Nothing like a little wasted time, right? Sorry, y'all. Okay, now get that closed. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the envelope at a diagonal, but I'm going to try to leave even space. I'm going to try to kind of leave the same amount here that I leave here, and that's going to give us consistent pockets. It does not matter if you want one bigger than the other one. I came pretty close. It does not matter. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is on my short side, I'm going to open that up, and I'm going to do that just by taking just a little hair of a sliver off of there. And then I'm going to open up the bottom to give myself a place to wrap around. And again, I just cut a little sliver. So this is the shape that we end up with. This is what we want. I'm going to trim that short side, and I'm going to trim the bottom. And there we have our shape. So the next thing is you want to decide which side you want to be your inside of your envelope and which side you want to be the outside of your envelope. I prefer covering this side. I don't know, it really doesn't matter. If you want to be able to see a little bit of the decoration on the inside, and this, I always check to make sure that they're glued down good, because that is a place where things could hang if that's on the inside. So I am just going to, and I think on this one I will, since I know I glued that down really well, I'm going to cover the inside. And this is really easy to cover. It looks a little, and I'm just taking my paper, one-sided scrapbook paper is all I have here. You could use any kind of digitals, any size. But here's what I want to do. I want to just get it covered. Oh, and that is not what I want to do. I want to, when I cover my paper, I want to lay it about a ½ an inch off the edge, and you'll see why in just a second. This is so easy but so effective. And I'm going to cover the whole thing. And this makes like a nice sturdy little pocket. And if you leave the gussets, you can absolutely stuff it full. That's the kind of pockets I like. Okay, like I said, we're going to leave it about a 1/2 inch off of the sides. Get it flattened out. Spread that glue down. Make sure it gets nice and attached. Okay, now we're going to cut, and I know it's going to be a little bit harder for y'all to see. Let me show you where my edges are. I'm just inking it to show you where my edges are. Okay, so see, on this side and this side, they're about a 1/2 inch off. What I'm going to do is cut the same way on the other sides. I'm going to cut about a 1/2 inch away. And I'm going to come up here and overshoot that a little bit so I can have my 1/2 inch. Do the same thing here. And this does not have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight. It just has to cover that back side of that pocket. Okay, so now we're going to take out the bulk at each one of these corners, and all we're doing to do that is taking the shape of the tab. If you look at each side and you want the shape of your tab, this was, my mind doesn't see things well, so my mind doesn't see things at all, but I was worried that these angles right here would cause me problems, but they don't, because you're just making a tab. And here again, this is a straight side and you're just making a tab. Cut in toward the corner and back out. Just cutting that extra bulk away so that we don't have a bunch of paper to fold there. Okay, and then here, our envelope, the natural fold of our envelope is going to remain the natural fold of the envelope. So, we come in here, my glue's still wet, so it's not wanting to play nice. Not wanting to play nice at all. But I just want to show y'all where my little cut needs to be. Okay, so you can see right there that that is the fold of the envelope. So here again, I'm just going to make a tab here and a tab here. So I'm going to cut this middle part out. And there we go. So now, it's just a matter of deciding what we want to glue down. Now, one thing I will say is always, before you put your glue on your paper, prep these edges. Tell your paper where you want it to go once you have it glued, because that makes it so much easier to fold it over after you've got it glued. It just, yeah, it makes a difference. Okay, and see, here's a little hint. Right here, this is going to have a little tiny bit over that fold. I don't want that, so I'm going to cut a little bit more of that corner away. I'm just going to cut it at a sharper angle so that when I pull this down, see, that comes straight down the line now. And that's what you want. You don't want that bulk in that fold. But right now I'm just going around and training my paper to where I want it to go. Okay, so now I'm going to make this a tuck with the gussets on the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue here, 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 and here. And I'm going to leave these unglued because I'm going to glue the outsides of these to my paper when I attach it to my journal. So and then once you have that trained, it just folds over just as easy as it can right there. And you can use art glitter glue for this part. I just happen to have this glue out, so I am just using it. And having this top paper folded over, decorative paper folded over, helps to make your pocket stronger. And it also just helps to cover that inside ugliness if somebody does happen to see inside. Okay, so there is what we have. And now I can fold. I should really wait. This is a good mass make because you can glue your paper on and then wait for it to dry before you start folding it and forcing it to go places that it might not want to be going. But it's paper. You can tell it what you want it to do. So anyway, and now to put this onto my journal page and have that bottom gusset, I'm going to put glue, and I will use my art glitter glue for this because I want y'all to really see it good. I am going to put glue here on the outside of that gusset that is going to make the inside of the pocket. And then I'm just gonna lay my journal page down, line it up, get everybody all happy there, and then press it down. Okay, so I've got my tuck with my gusset. It opens up all the way down to the bottom of the page. Okay, and then to do the other side, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to put my glue on the outside of my gusset and fold it over into place. And there we go. Now we have a journal page surely I have a scrap of paper. We have a journal page with a tuck here with the gusset on the bottom so we can really fill that out, and on the other side of the page our tuck here with the gusset on the bottom. Okay, I think that's just a great little pocket tuck. And like I said, it's very versatile. You can do it however you want to do it. You can glue it all the way on, or you can glue it so that it has a gusset. And you can also do the same thing with this one, with this side. If you'd want to make it a pocket with gussets, you would just glue the outside of that pocket and you'd have a full gusseted pocket. So let's see, let's play with the other one. And here again, I'm deciding which one has less impediments on here. See, like this right here, I don't want my tag or whatever I put in here to hit on that. So I think I'm gonna cover it this way. And you just have to have enough around the pocket to fold in. So it's not critical how much you leave. You don't have to leave exactly a ½ inch or exactly anything. You just and I always am sure that I get around my edges well. Of course, with this, you're folding that other edge over, so it's not quite as critical. And I just go right over the top of that window. And then I'm just gonna, most important thing is to remember to leave your decorative paper for your tabs. There we go. Now I did notice that this right here is pulling up just a little bit. It won't matter once we've got our paper wrapped around. It won't matter so much, but I just like to go ahead and tack it down if I see it. I don't want there to be a problem later. And I've made a mess over here. My glue's making a mess this morning for some reason, but that's okay. Made a mess, so I'm gonna clean it up. And that's why I love this silicone mat over here, because it's so easy just to clean up. Okay. So here again, we're just gonna cut out our edges. We're gonna leave enough to be our hinge or our gusset. And there we go. And then you've got enough scrap paper there. I'm using 12 by 12. I can cover a tag with that. Okay, and then we're going to cut out our corners. And I can see where my fold is right here, so I'm just gonna turn that into 2 tabs on the bottom. And there we are. Okay, so now we've got our covered piece. So again, we're just going to train that paper, make it go where we want it to go. And this is where if you've got a little bit of a different shape on your envelope, you can correct it with this fold. Okay, now let's just glue down the tops of the pockets. We're going to leave this a pocket with gussets. So this time I'll just use the art glitter glue. Make it quick and easy. And this is an area where you could use your glue stick, or where I would use my Elmer's. And if I would let the paper dry, like if I was going to do them in Mass Make formula, my paper would be a lot less wrinkly. but you can do lots of things to make your paper not be wrinkly. Okay, so now we're ready to glue this on as a pocket. And one thing that I do want to make sure of is, I learned this from Genevieve Designs, I want to make sure that my bottom gusset is over the top of my side gusset. That way it'll be less likely, if you slide something in, it'll be less likely to catch because that side is consistent. If you do it the opposite way and that side is not consistent, it's likely to catch right there. So you always want to make sure that your bottom is on top. How funny is that? Your bottom's on top. And I just tack that down to make it easier so I don't have to think about it when I'm doing the gluing. Okay, now this one is going to be glued to our page. I need to go ahead and train that center fold. Okay, and this one is going to be glued to our page as a pocket instead of a tuck. So we're going to put glue on this gusset and on this gusset and glue it down to the page. And we're putting the glue on the outside. Just all the way around like this. Hope everybody's doing good today. I don't think I've said that yet. I'm having a good day. It's kind of quiet around here, which is always a good thing for this house. My mom and I have been watching a stump in the backyard outside her bedroom window. And okay, and now we're just going to fold it around and do the same thing on the other side. And day before yesterday, the stump was hollowed out. You could see inside the stump. Then yesterday, we looked out there, and there was dirt piled up all through the inside the hollowed out portion. It was just like dirt was mounded up in there. And this morning, and this is an old stump, probably has grubs and all kinds of things living in it. And this morning, it was all hollowed out again. So, my question is, what's doing it? What kind of little critter do we have that's messing with our stump? And I know it's probably something that's trying to find something to eat at night. Because we're smart now and we bring the cat food in. We are not feeding all the skunks and the cats and the raccoons in the neighborhood. Okay, so here we have two different configurations of that pocket. So, on this one, we have a tuck. Technically a tuck. But, it's got that gusset at the bottom, so we can really fill it up, and our tags and things go all the way to the bottom. See, if I get it out of my lap, I can show you better. My tags go all the way to the bottom. I don't have a glue line on the inside of there that impedes those tags. Now, on this one, it's a pocket, it's not a tuck. And it also has the gusset, and it has a gusset on this side. So I can really fill that pocket up. And my tag can come all the way to the edge of the pocket, and my tag comes all the way to the bottom of the pocket. So that's, and it gives me a lot of room. I can really fill that pocket up. So that's where we are on those. So yeah, I think those are great pockets, and I thank Edith and I thank Rachel, and I will try to list both of their videos below. Yeah, and that's it for this video. So I hope y'all are having a happy day, and I hope you can find some time to craft. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.